Good morning, everybody. Can you hear? You can hear me? Yes. Oh, good. Oh, it's already starting. So, has anyone heard of empathic listening? Raise your hand. Wonderful. I'm glad to see a few hands. So that's what my sermon is all about today. And yes, so I guess I'll jump right into it. So, something that has been really special and important to Alan and my relationship is actually something called empathic listening, or active listening, you could call it. There's actually a first gen named Bento Leal. Anybody know Bento Leal? Wonderful, amazing guy. He wrote a book all about communication. It's like a bestseller on Amazon. Back in college when I was at UC Berkeley, living at Hearst House, I happened to stumble into his presentation. He was giving a presentation at my dorm at the Hearst House, and it's been foundational to Alan and my relationship and any arguments we had and able to overcome through this communication tool. So I wanted to share about this communication tool today, and we're going to practice it too. We're going to have a demo on the stage, and we're also going to get a chance for everybody to practice this communication tool. So get ready. um, this has probably been the most valuable thing for our relationship. So what has empathic listening done for us? It's turned arguments and moments of high tension where we both have really strong opinions. It's turned those moments into moments of deep understanding. It's given us confidence that we can get through any argument through doing empathic listening. Because we have this skill and this tool, even if we have a very strong argument or very strong fight, we know that, okay, like, I know that we're not going to hate each other forever. We're going to overcome because we have empathic listening. And we don't have to worry or step on eggshells around each other. And when we feel strong feelings on both sides, it gives us a way to get unstuck. Has anyone ever felt stuck in a relationship, in an argument with somebody where you both have different opinions? Raise your hand if you. Great, yeah. So like that feeling of being stuck can be really challenging, especially when you just have such different opinions on something. But empathic listening has allowed Alan and I to, even when our opinions are so different, we're able to see past the opinion and to see the deeper feeling behind it. What is Alan's feeling? Why does he have this opinion? It's for a deeper reason. So this is what usually happens when we have a disagreement, especially in a couple, right? He has his strong opinion, she has her strong opinion, and it's we want to be right. It's not just that we're not trying to be prideful, but we just feel so convicted about our opinion. We feel so strongly. And then if we don't have tools and don't respect each other, of course, like we respect each other, but if we don't have the tools, the communication tools to go beyond this disagreement, a lot of couples, I'll give an example soon, but they get stuck and then they can't resolve it and they end up breaking up. Whether that's a boyfriend or girlfriend or matching situation or a blessing situation, they have strong opinions and they can't go beyond it. They get stuck and they start accusing each other and just gets more and more messy. So having this communication tool is really important. So this can improve not just your own, like if you're married right now, not just your own couple relationship, but also any of your relationships with your kids or your coworkers. Any kind of relationship can be improved through empathic listening. Also, these slides, Uncle Bento also let me borrow some slides. So these are directly from his empathic listening course. I'm just letting you know. I didn't do all of this, so give some credit to him. So a Bible says, "My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry." That's not always easy to do, right? Most of us, we're not trying to. We're trying to be, I think everyone here is a pretty good person. We're all trying our best. That's what I truly believe. All of us are trying our best based on how we grew up in our childhood and everything. It's not like we want to be stirring up trouble or hurting people, but it's just like just our habits and how we grew up. So most people don't listen with an intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. So how many times have you had a conversation and you're thinking about what you're going to say next? Raise your hand. I think everybody, right? I struggle with that too. Alan's talking to me or the kids are talking to me and I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to win this, argument? Or what is the next fact that I can throw that's going to be like the better one or something like that? So how can we listen in a way that really people feel truly heard and understood by us? Not just we hear them and then we reply with our own opinion, but how can they really feel like this person's really understanding where I'm coming from? Especially when it's emotional and very, very high emotions. So I'm actually going to demo the empathic listening skill. So try to get it. Okay. Yeah, we're going to think of a memory that has some emotion to it, a childhood memory. Sorry. Okay. I just want to have this all out. So I'm actually going to ask for a volunteer, a very brave volunteer, and I'm going to demo empathic listening. I'm not like the best at this, so please don't judge me if it doesn't sound perfect. But does anyone want to volunteer and share a childhood memory? Maybe Seiji? Actually, can you grab the microphone? Okay, so Seiji's going to share a childhood memory with me, and I'm going to demo empathic listening and how I would respond. And I'm going to do my best. You can actually. Okay.
Quick to give up. So maybe like 30 seconds.
We're laughing because I said, Seiji, can you be my backup in case nobody volunteers? And then I just quickly was like, okay, Seiji. So, hi, Seiji.
Hi, Kari.
Would you be open to sharing a short childhood memory with me?
I gotta think of one. That's not too
like
bad.
Happy, sad, scary, hurt. Mm-hmm. It can be something really simple.
Maybe I'm taking this too seriously. Okay. I can't think. It's kind of hard being put on the spot because I didn't know what you're going to ask.
Okay. How about a moment when you felt like one of your siblings was like hurt you in some way?
Hurt me? Well,
yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Seizan. Yeah, as the youngest in my family, I was bullied a lot by my brothers. And I have a particular memory. It's very simple, but I had a Game Boy and I had a save file on Pokemon Red, like the first Pokemon game, right? And I was like working really hard on it. And being little, I think 4 or 5 years old, and I didn't exactly know how to play the game or what to do next, but I was like working really hard on it. And then, one day, Seizan, he started playing the Game Boy in front of me, and then I'm laughing about it now. I think it's funny now, but back then it was really scary, or not painful. It was painful. But he started a new game, and with these Game Boys, you can only have one save file. So he purposely deleted my game, so he started a new game.
Wow.
And then the worst thing was is when I started crying because I was really upset. He took out his flip phone and started recording me. He's like, little crybaby.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, can I pause you there for
Yeah.
a second? Okay, so what I got was you were saying in the beginning that when you were younger, all of your siblings used to bully you because you're the youngest.
Mm-hmm.
And then one time you were playing Pokemon Red.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And you were pretty far along in the game.
I think I don't remember. I think so.
Oh, you were at least at
No,
some.
I was stuck on Snorlax.
Oh, you were
I didn't
stuck
know
at-
I didn't know how to
okay.
get the Pokeflute
Okay.
to wake him up.
So but you had invested a lot
Yes.
in the game so far, and then your brother Saison came up and he took the Game Boy and he completely deleted your game and he started a different game.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you started crying because obviously you were upset because you had invested a lot, then he started filming you on the camera
Yeah.
and calling you a crybaby.
Yeah, that's right.
Is what happened next, or is there
I don't
anything
remember.
else?
I don't remember what happened next. I think
Okay.
I ran away or something. It's like, I'm done with you.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you feel like I got everything there, or
Yeah.
is there anything else?
No, I don't. Yeah, I think that's everything.
Okay. All right, let's give Seiji a hand. That's great. Awesome. Yeah, that was such a great example. And so, like, when he was talking, I was, did you notice how after he talked, I repeated everything back that he said? And I even said, is there anything else? And I didn't try to just repeat back what he said. I tried to understand what's the deeper feeling behind what happened, right? There's a thing that happened and there's the feeling behind it. So I was trying to understand the feeling. That's an example of what Alan and I do. So one person will speak first, like Alan, and then after he's done speaking, then I will speak. Alan will say, is that everything? Did I get everything right? And I'll say yes or no. If I say no, then I'll keep talking and saying, actually, there's something else. I also feel this way. And then when I'm done and I feel fully understood, then Alan will have his chance to talk, and then, I will repeat back what he says. Yeah, sure.
So this isn't like the first time I've done this exercise, but it definitely feels weird because it doesn't happen very often, I think. So, like, every time I've done this exercise, which is a handful, but like being listened to is kind of a weird feeling because it just doesn't happen very much, I feel like. So that's just my reflection on this experience just now.
Thank you for sharing. Does anyone relate when they are in a conversation that people usually don't reflect back what you're feeling or thinking? Yes? No? Yeah? Okay. Because it's a little bit, maybe it's a little different. It's a little awkward. It's not normal, right? Like, I know especially for maybe like the Japanese culture, I tried to do this with my mom and she didn't, she didn't like it. It was actually it was an intense moment. I was kind of sad about it. I was like, you don't want to do this? But I think like it doesn't have to be so like, robotic. It can just be trying to understand the deeper feeling behind what they're saying. If they don't want to follow the procedure of like repeating back what I say, just trying to find the deeper meaning behind it. So there's 5 steps to empathic listening. Step 1 is quiet your mind and focus on your spouse or another person as they are speaking. Put yourself in their world and try to look and feel from their point of view. So instead of thinking, what am I going to say next, or thinking about lunch for today or something, you're trying to really quiet your mind and really focus. Put all your focus on that person. And it's not about you right now, it's really about them. What are their wants and needs, their interests, their concerns, and their story right now in this moment. And this is like a love thy neighbor in practice, because it does take a lot of, you have to get out of your own brain and focus on the other person. Step 2 is listen fully and openly to what they are saying in their words and their body language as well. without bias, defensiveness, or thinking what you'll say next. Actively listen. This part's not easy, but once you practice empathic listening, it gets easier and easier to do that. You'll get your chance also to express your ideas on the topic after, so you don't have to worry about, well, I'm not going to get my viewpoint in. Well, you will get a chance to when the other person's done sharing. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time with this. Nathan, do you mind just scrolling through to the end of the page so I can just go through it? So step 3 is listen through the words to the deeper meaning. So when Seiji was sharing, I was trying to understand the deeper, what was he feeling when this happened? There are certain events that happened. His Game Boy game got restarted. He had invested a lot into it. What were the feelings that he had underneath the events that happened? And what are the feelings you sense from the speaker? And then step 4, don't interrupt when they were speaking to you or try to finish their sentences. I struggle with this, finishing sentences for people, but like when you're actively listening, try to fully be there and present. And then step 5. Oh, I went too far. Do you mind going back? Yeah. Say back to them in your own words what they said and their feelings that you sense from them to make sure that you fully and understand them. I think that's the most important thing, actually. It's like when you say it back to them, then they can feel that you're trying to understand them. And then you can get feedback. Am I actually understanding you, or am I not getting this right? So Jesus said, greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for his friends. And empathic listening is sort of laying down your life because you're kind of killing your ego a little bit. You have to be kind of humble because, it's very easy to, somebody's talking and it's a very sensitive topic. You want to jump in, wait a second, but this, or no, I didn't mean that. Or, you're taking this too personally or something like that. It's very easy to do that, right? The harder thing to do is to lay down your ego and try to fully listen. Even if you have all these emotions in the back of your head or your heart, you're listening fully and repeating back to them, and then you'll get your chance to speak after. But this is really like living for the sake of others, because you're sacrificing your own ego so that you can listen fully to the person who's speaking to you. Oh, yeah. So empathic listening, when you do this, it has a voice and it's saying, I'm here for you, I care for you, and I want to understand you. And this listening is a gift to the speaker. They can feel very valued and cared for when you listen to them in this way. I'm having a hard time with this. Don't know why. All right, Nathan, do you mind just putting the whole slide through? So these are some examples of empathic listening. So if there's a speaker and he says, husband and wife, for example, my job is really rough, right? Let me pretend to be a guy. Honey, my job is really rough right now. So many tasks to do and so little to get them done. And then the wife could say, what are you talking about? You had all this time and I saw you on your phone. Like you can, right? The wife could easily respond like that. I know I have a hard time understanding Alan's sense of time and how much time he has. Or you could really try to listen for the feelings underneath. So the wife could say, you feel totally overwhelmed with all you have to do. And the husband might say, yeah, I feel really swamped. Another example is, my brother called and said my mother's health is getting worse. And the listener, you could say, I think you're worrying too much, just pray about it. Or, don't worry, it's okay, it's in God's hands. Or you could really try to understand the feeling behind it. You could say, you're really worried about her. You're really worried about your mom's health right now. And then the speaker might say, yeah, she means the world to me. I am worried about her. Another example is, I don't know if I should keep my current job or switch to something else. I've been praying for God's guidance, but I don't hear anything. I feel stuck. And instead of like giving advice right away, we could pause and kind of try to understand how they're feeling. What are the feelings behind their words? So you actually feel really frustrated and not sure what to do. So yeah, I'm torn. There are pluses and minuses to both. And the listener in this example is just mirroring or sharing back the speaker's words and feelings, right? We're not giving any advice. We're not giving any solution to their problem, which is really hard to do. I know for me, even I want to give a solution right away. Well, why don't you do this? Oh, the other person told me about this. Oh, I heard about this on YouTube. But instead of that, we're just mirroring and sharing back to that person what they're feeling and thinking, so that the speaker feels heard, understood, and validated, and empathized with. And if the listener has any suggestions, they can share about them later, or can I give a suggestion, or would you like any help on this or advice? But the key point is to listen first with empathy and connect to the speaker's emotion. Yes, any advice can happen afterwards. So, 5 essential phrases to say back in active listening. Sorry, do you mind just going through the whole slide? Yeah. So there's good ways to, after someone's done speaking, you can respond back with, you feel angry about what I said this morning. It sounds like you're frustrated with all the things you have to do. It seems like you're unsure about whether or not to take that job. Or what I'm hearing is you have no idea how to solve that problem. Or you seem to be saying you wish we could donate more to charitable causes if we only had more money. These are examples of how you can respond after someone is done speaking to you. Don't know what's going on today. So we're actually going to practice in pairs. You're going to get a chance now. So we're going to do the childhood memory example again. And so we're going to practice how it's going to go is you're going to think of a memory that has emotion to it. It could be really small, like a short memory. It doesn't have to be long, like the example Seiji gave of his brother, taking his game away, restarting it, and then making fun of him. Happy, sad, scary, hurt. And then the format is person A is going to tell their childhood memory to person B. And then person B is going to completely listen to them. And I'll put the empathic listening steps back on the slide after when we start this. And then you're going to switch roles. So you're going to speak for I would say 4 to 5 minutes per person about your child memory. And then, yes. So after that, we're going to reflect what the experience was. So Nathan, do you mind bringing back the slide with the 5 steps of empathic listening? Sorry, keep going back until you get the 5 steps. Okay, so does everybody have their partners figured out? It could be your spouse or someone next to you. Or find someone in the room who doesn't have a pair. Who does not have a partner? Raise your hand if you don't have a partner. David Lee does not have a partner. Somebody go next to David. Seiji? Good. Everybody have a partner? Raise your hand if you have a partner. Yes? Great. Okay. These are the 5 steps. So you can spread out in the church if you need to, if you want to, and then come back after each person has shared. So everybody, feel free to share your childhood memory. Ready, set, go. Remember, after your partner is done sharing, you repeat back to them what they said to make sure you fully understood. Okay, if the first person is done sharing, please, the second person, repeat back what you heard and make sure that you get it right and you fully understand. Thank you. Okay, if you haven't done so already, make sure you switch and let the other person talk, and then you will repeat back to them what they said. I'm going to give a 2-minute warning. Please make sure both partners have shared and also repeated back what their partner shared. Thank you.